but you always, whatever you write, sometimes you're fashionable.
I'm glad you all find it amusing.
No, but sometimes you're fashionable, usually you're not, but you're always terrifically successful. Everybody buys your records, you know, millions.
It's getting better, keep going.
You're doing well. What is it, something you put in the water, or what's...
No, I don't know, you've stumped me completely.
Oh, come on, you must have been asked this before.
Well, not quite that way. We get together, we put our heads together, we try to find the same headspace, and that's how it works.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, any team
What's
that writes...
headspace? What's that? You can't tell you. Yeah. You've been in America too long, I think. But you work together, but there's three, normally there's like two songwriters. So does one do the words, another do the music, the other do the crossword?
We're all sounding boards. We're all sounding boards for ideas, and we bounce off each other. Not physically, of course, but
we wanted to.
Yes.
And
well, you've been pretty happy together for most of the time, haven't you?
Yeah, I think it's because we all have the same sense of humour. We just have fun.
Because I didn't realise you were real brothers. I think you were sisters, actually.
Yes.
But
well, I thought we were coming to that in a few minutes.
We're working our way up.
Yeah, but you know, a lot of like the Jacksons are well known to have been set off as a young age. You set off as a young age, but it seems to have done quite a lot of damage to them in terms of their personality and how they get on with each other. You seem well adjusted to each other, anyway.
Yeah, well, there's ups and downs.
Yeah.
You know, we've had some problems in our lives. We've had adversity, and I think we've learned how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And I think that we're much more mature now.
Well, you've had the whole rock and roll thing of drugs and sex and drink. And I hope you got it in hospitality. But
I noticed it. Yeah.
We like to see our guests proud, but
we certainly do.
No, but you've been through all that kind of thing. But just talking about you as unit, you're like regular brothers who aren't singing together, often fall out, and sibling rivalry.
It started way back in Manchester. Well, we were born in the Isle of Man. So
of course we were. We're going right back.
Yes, we're going right back.
Yeah.
We were born in the Isle of Man, and we started in Manchester at the Gaumont Cinema, and we called ourselves the Rattlesnakes.
Yes.
And that didn't work too well.
No.
So we called ourselves...
What was that? Why the Rattlesnakes? Was that any particular reason?
Why not?
Is that a boast or what?
It's a skiffle.
You're probably just slow worms in those days. But
sort of, yeah. And then we moved on to Wee Johnny Hayes and the Blue Cats, nobody admitting to being Wee Johnny Hayes.
No.
And then in the last sort of, before we became the Bee Gees, we were Les Tossers.
Yes.
Which we thought was...
You'll always be Les Tossers to me, but I don't know.
And that's why we're here. And that's why you had us on the show.
Yeah. But your father took you to Australia to keep you out of trouble, because you were like wild...
Well, on the advice of the Manchester Police,
Yeah. You're the last criminals to be deported to Australia.
Yes.
Yeah. And was that did that sort of waking you up, brightening you up, you know, the wide open space of Australia? Sunshine?
It was like, well, in Australia you couldn't, there wasn't much of a pop business going on, so we were like a dirty version of the Osmonds.
Right.
We grew up on the television and all that stuff, you know, and I'd had a couple of minor hits and stuff, and it did okay, but we had to work in the clubs and do an adult act and everything. There was no pop audience until we came back to England.
But you were like kids then? You were like 13, 14,
we started when Robin and I were about 6.
Yes.
And Barry was about 9.
Yeah.
So.
And are you always the older... obviously you're still the older brother, but do you play the... Are you always... Because older brothers tend to want to be in charge and say, what would you do? Is he always... Perhaps I should ask you. Is he still...
Ask him.
I think there's on different days as there's older brothers. I think depending on the problem or the project or different things that occur during the day or in a certain project or an album, there is a different brother taking the role as lead.
Right.
So,
and then
I don't know what it is today.
When the Beatles came out, you came tearing back over to England to be part of the pop scene.
Yeah, I think it was long after the Beatles, actually. Yeah. I think they peaked by the time we'd got back here, or breaking up, but...
well, not quite.
Well, Sgt. Pepper, it was just the last big album. And it was then, of course, it was a very exciting period then. To make a start in the UK, it was everything was happening.
And younger viewers might not remember your work pre-Saturday Night Fever, because it was those big ballad, big production numbers, Massachusetts.
That's right,
yeah, and words, well, all that, and I loved all those. They were sort of.
I thought we were tossers.
Yeah, well, you developed into that. No, but then you see, I kind of slipped off when you went into that. You know,
yes, of course.
Saturday Night Fever and
actually, that was our new album. We didn't write for the film. No, they just used our music in the film. So.
But I found that difficult to follow the hype. My dog loves it, but I was just. But do you enjoy doing those old ones as well when you're performing now?
Oh yeah, we try to cover everything, the whole spectrum when we do a show.
Yeah, because they're the pop standards, aren't they? They're sort of classic.
Well, thank you. That's very nice. We don't. They're our babies as far as we're concerned.
Yeah. And then you had what turns out to be quite a short period when you split up. Was that a particularly fraught time? Do you think? Well, that was your career finished. You'd had few years and that was going to be it? Because some groups do that and they're never heard of again. Did you think that might be happening to you?
No.
Not really. No, we sort of...
Well, when we split up, yes.
Yes.
For 15 months, I think it was.
Yeah.
But we realised we didn't enjoy it being by ourselves.
No.
You know? So it was a lot of things going on, egos and things. And when I mean, Robin and I were about 19.
Yeah.
So we were like all young and getting all these things, people telling you that one brother's better than the other and you don't need them,
No,
you don't need him.
sure.
So we believed all that crap, you know.
Yeah. But it didn't last that long. I mean, it probably felt a long time. But you had one very, very good single on your own there, Saved by the Bell. That was a good one. Do you feel, oh, I don't need those other two, I can knock out something like that?
There was a lot of ego problems at the time, and I can't even remember
we had
why.
one at the same time called Don't Forget to Remember, which was interesting.
I've forgotten that one. But,
Yeah, we thought you might.
Yeah, of course.
We're getting on like a storm, aren't we, Clive?
Yes.
In fact, I might just leave.
Yeah. Oh, I've never had anyone walk out before, but...
Well, we are. Toss-up, pal.
So
Night,
anyway...
everybody.
Oh, well, I guess I better join them.
Well, you can stay and just...
Well, I'd love to, but I don't do impressions.
Yeah.
I can't do this. Well, I'll get it off next door. I'll see you later, Clive.
Okay. Well, there you go. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bee Gees. Okay. That looks about all it for tonight. I hope they've got the potter's wheel ready. But thank you to all my guests, those who stayed and those who have gone. This is me, Clive Anderson, saying good night. Good night.